Hi everyone, my name is Nancy. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a macrame feather out of cotton cord. To make this project, you're going to need twisted cotton cord. This cord I have is a 5mm wide gray cotton cord that I got at my local craft store. You can purchase any kind of cord as long as it's twisted together. We want this kind of cording because when it's combed out, it fluffs up really nicely and fills out to form the thick, fluffy edges of our feather. You'll want to get at least 3 yards to ensure you'll have enough, but having extra always helps. Scissors to cut our cording and to trim our finished feather. Tape to attach the cord to the table, and a variety of combs and brushes to fluff out our fibers, and finally a stiffener like hairspray or spray starch to help the fibers hold their shape. Our first step is to cut our cording to the length we need. Cut one piece of cording that is at least 24 inches long. My cording is a little thicker, so I'm cutting a 36-inch piece to make sure my feather will be long enough. When in doubt, I always cut to bigger than what I need. Fold this in half and set it aside. Now we're going to be cutting 2 lengths of cord for our edges, a longer length and a shorter length. The longer cords are 20 inches and we'll need 9 of them. The shorter cords are 14 inches and we'll need 10 to 15 of these. Feel free to cut more of the shorter cords if you'd like your feather to be longer than the one I'm making. I ended up using all of my cords and probably should have cut more to make my feather a little bit longer. Once your edge cords are cut, we're ready to start knotting. Fold the longer piece of the core cord in half and tape it to the table. Place the tape at least an inch, closer to 1.5 inches, down from the fold in your cording. It only needs to be taped down for the first 4 edges we're going to knot on, so it doesn't have to be super secure. What we're really trying to do here is to make and preserve a loop for you to hang your feather from. Once your core is taped down, take one of the longer edge cords and fold it in half. Slide the folded edge under the core cord with the loop to your left and the cut edge to your right. Keeping the edge cord under the core, loop the ends of the edge cord to your right around the core towards the left and push them back through the loop. Keep pulling the edges through the loop and wiggle the knot to tighten it. Slide the cord that you've knotted as close as you can get it to the tape and pull it snug. It helps sometimes to wiggle the cords to get them very tight. Now pick up another piece of longer edge cord and again fold it in half. Slide the folded cord under the core, this time with the loop on the opposite side from before. It's easier to just lay the ends of the folded cord in the same direction as the cords you just knotted. Loop the ends of your new cord through the loop on the other side and pull tight. Sometimes it takes a little bit of work to get the cords to tighten. Wiggle the knot and pull on either end of the edge cord to get it to tighten up. We'll go through and tighten it more later, but it gets it in place for now. Continue down the length of the core cord, alternating how the ends of the edge cord fall left and right. As you're knotting, you can decide how many of the edge cords you'd like to knot onto your core. Because your cord may not be the same size as mine, you may need to make some adjustments. For example, if your cord is thinner, you'll need more edge cords than I've cut. That's because the thinner cord doesn't fill up space on the core as quickly as the thick cord does. So you'll need more pieces to get the same full effect that I get with the thicker cord. If your cord is thicker than mine, you'll need less, for exactly the opposite reason. As you're knotting, make sure the cords are laying flat against the table. This is easier while the feather is taped down, but after finishing the first 4 knots, I find it more helpful to hold the feather away from the table to tighten the knots. I can get more leverage and tighten easier this way. Continue knotting edge cords down the core. The more pieces you tie on, the longer your finished feather will be. Okay, here is our finished feather before we brush it out. I have quite a bit of tail left on my cord, but I don't want to knot all the way to the end. We want to leave a little bit of a tail, at least 3 to 4 inches on the end of the cord, because when we brush it out, we want our feather to come to a nice point. To do this, we need to have plenty of fringe at the bottom of the core to fill in the point on the bottom of our feather. When you're happy with how many cords you have, go ahead and tie 1/2 square knot in the 2 core cords, tightening it to the last edge cord that you knotted on. Now that our edge cords are tied on, we're going to start combing them out. A variety of combs and brushes are helpful. I have this large plastic comb that turned out to be much bigger than what I needed. This metal tooth comb worked much better for combing out. I also used a plastic brush to further fluff and smooth the strands. Lie the feather flat on your table. Starting from the cut edge of each feather, gently comb out the twist in the cord. Work on 4 or 5 cords at a time and comb them all the way out to the core. I don't want to scratch my table, so I've placed a piece of paper under my feather. Keep combing and brushing until you're happy with the look. Remember, we want them as fluffy as possible. This does take a lot of time, and you don't want to rush it or you'll end up with a really big knotted mess. We started the edges of the cords because the twist wants to naturally pull out as you run the comb through it. It's easier to run the comb through a shorter twist than a longer twist. Once your cords are brushed out, we're ready to trim them to shape. Lay your feather flat on your table and take a look at it and decide what shape you want it to take. We generally want to have an inverted triangle-like shape, wide at the top and coming to a point at the bottom. You can curve your cuts however you want. Try finding some pictures online of feathers to get ideas. You do want to keep the shape as simple as possible. Ripples and multiple curves are not ideal for this project. They tend to get lost while the feather is hanging. Start trimming your feather little by little. I make one cut first, a little bit larger than I want my feather to be. This is because you can always cut more off, but you can't put back on what you've cut off. Be patient and brush your feather out as you go. Once you've done your first cut, try brushing the fibers diagonally down and away from the core. This mimics how the cords will lay when it's hanging and can give you a better idea of what your feather will be shaped like once it's hanging. After you've made your first cut, you can keep trimming. Keep in mind that when we hang the feather, the fibers will have a natural, graceful droop. The next step is optional. My cords are a little fluffier and don't seem to want to lay in a regular way. Some other cords I've used have been a little stiffer and have laid flatter and straighter. To mimic this look, I'm going to use a stiffener to help my feather keep its shape while it's hanging. The stiffener I'm using is hairspray, but you can also use spray starch, which you can find in the laundry aisle. Make sure you have a piece of paper under your feather to protect your table. Lay your feather on top of the paper, brush it out into the shape that you want. Once you're happy with the shape, spray a light layer of your stiffener on the fibers and brush them into position. Once you're happy with the look, press them down gently with your hand. Continue spraying, brushing, and pressing until you're happy with the effect. After your first spray, I find it helpful to turn your feather over and repeat the process on the other side. This makes sure that all the fibers are going in the same direction and there's no knots in the other side. Try not to totally saturate the fibers. We don't want them hard as a rock, we just want them to hold their shape while they're hanging. You can see the substantial difference this makes. One side of the feather stays nice and open, and the other side droops a little bit more than what I want it to. Once you're happy with the effect, your feather is ready to hang. Get creative with the types of cord you use. Cotton, linen, and nylon are all possibilities. You could even make a very tiny feather out of embroidery floss. Thank you everyone for joining me for this project. Please like the video if you enjoyed it, comment, and subscribe to AADL TV. Until I see you next time, stay safe and stay healthy. Bye y'all!